right, all right, all right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Monday Night Book Club. This is a Song of Ice and Fire book club, and this is a stream by the Crossroads. I am Scott from Sporking News Podcast, and I am exhausted. Let's say hello to the rest of the panel. We have below me, oh God, I hate when I do it that way. We have directly beneath me is the great Miss Martin Muses. Hello, Teresa.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for being here. We also have the great, first of his name, Stannis, Stig Kenobi Baratheon.
Lord of Dragonstone, Master of Ships, King of Westeros, Lord of Storms and King of the Andals, Ruiner and the First Men, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, Protector of the Realm. All who deny that are my foes. Let no man claim ignorance as a defense. They'll bend a knee or I'll destroy them. The cold winds are rising. Time to hail to the king.
He's the king of the north. All right.
And this one, I got it fluently.
That was beautiful.
It was fluid this time. That
was very
year.
fluid.
Yeah.
That was very fluid. So we're going to be reading. What we do on our book club is we go through 3 chapters of one of the Song of Ice and Fire books. Tonight we're in A Clash of Kings, chapter 42, 43, 44, which are Davos 2, Jon 5, Tyrion 10, which is crazy. 10 chapters of Tyrion already. But what did you guys, any common flow or anything you really called out basically of these chapters to you guys? Something that you really liked?
It was seriously messed up. I mean, I saw it in the show. Now, in the show, I was like, what the actual F? And this, even though I knew what it was all about, it was still so effed up. I think if there's a theme in all 3, it's just how effed up all this stuff is.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll definitely give you that. It is effed up. Definitely 2 worse than 1, but yeah, one is the Davos one is just
it's wild.
Yeah, it's wild. What about you, Stig?
Well, I read it last year, so I haven't reread it, but I've read them 3 or 4 times now, though, so I'm starting to
memorize.
Yeah, starting to know them fairly well, better anyway.
Right.
You know.
Right, definitely. Well, we'll quickly say hello to the chat. We have the great Tina Bojan, a member of the channel, saying good evening, friends. Also, Lady Tauriel, a member of the channel. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Lasso of Truth made it. Good to see you in the chat. Definitely. Time Prophet is always here. Thank you for being here.
On time.
On time, as usual. Another monster is here. He's his usual sup, y'all. Relax. I'm here now. Tell me that doesn't look like he could be like Stephen Walton's brother. He just looks more manly, I guess.
No, it still looks like a fucking Swede.
Those Swedes. Free folk of the fandom. Hail, my friend. Great channel. Check him out. Parrot Head, the memer of memes. Scott Simps for George R. R. Martin. It's getting close to saying no, but at the moment I still do. He will release the books. I believe it. He will. Dark Shadow Logan, what's going on, brother? How you been? Seeing you in a couple chats. And that's in the chat tonight, our friends. So let's get into it. Our first chapter tonight, Stig will be reading the summary. The summary we take from Westeros.org, which is a wiki of Ice and Fire. They have great summaries, so that's who we use. And Stig will take it away.
Yep, chapter 42, I believe. Yep, Davos 2. Synopsis. Davos has recently returned to Stannis' fleet after delivering the king's message throughout the realm. He learns that Stannis has been having terrible nightmares and that only Lady Melisandre can soothe him to sleep. She has been sharing his pavilion of late, and he wonders how she soothes him to sleep. A gentleman never tells. Sir Courtney Penrose arrives to parley with Stannis and scorns the king and all his newfound allies who were so recently sworn to Renly. He especially mocks Lord Alistair Florent for not only changing sides but changing gods as well. Sir Courtney will not accept Stannis' demands and will not surrender Storm's End nor Robert's bastard Edric Storm. The Castellan throws his gauntlet in Stannis' face and proposes single combat to settle the issue. Stannis rejects him, stating that he will take the castle by storm if he must, to which Sir Courtney responds, "Bring on your storm, and recall, if you do, the name of this castle." Stannis dismisses all his men save Davos, seeking the former smuggler's advice. Davos states his respect for Sir Courtney, who kept his faith, unlike all these new lords in Stannis' army. Stannis dislikes them as much, but he needs their strength in order to win his throne. Stannis sent Sir Paramount Crane to Bitterbridge to gather the rest of Renly's army, but there has been no word since. He tells Davos that he grieves for his brother Renly and dreams of a green pavilion and the manner of Renly's death, even though he was in bed at the time of Renly's demise. Stannis says, "But I did love him, Davos. I know that now, I swear. I will go to my grave thinking of my brother's peach." Davos advises him to strike for Queen's Landing at once, but Stannis will not leave Storm's End untaken in its rear. Naughty line. For men will consider him defeated there. Stannis then tells Davos that he must have the boy Edric Storm, as Melisandre has seen it in her flames, and she has also seen Sir Courtney's death, as she saw Renly's at Dragonstone. The king commands Davos to bring Melisandre by boat under the cover of darkness beneath Storm's End, as he did some 15 years ago. That night, Davos is sickened by what he must do for his king. He asks Melisandre if she is good or evil, and she responds, "Oh, good. I am a knight of swords myself, a champion of light and life." Davos calls her a liar, for she means to kill a man this very night, as she killed Maester Crescent and Renly. The Red Woman responds that the Maester poisoned himself, and that she had nothing to do with Renly's death. However, she later admits that Renly was unprotected, while the walls of Storm's End have spells woven into the stones, and that no shadow can pass from the outside. When Davos proclaims that a shadow is a thing of darkness, Melisandre rebuffs him, stating that shadows don't exist in the dark. They are servants of light and fire, provided by her god R'hllor. When they arrive at the gate, in a water tunnel beneath the castle, Melisandre disrobes, and Davos watches in horror, as the now pregnant woman gives birth to a shadow. And Davos recognizes the man who cast it.
Oof. That is a good one. It's one of my favorite chapters in the book. So, Teresa, what did you get? Because this is your first read through. You
Sorry,
are.
yeah,
It's okay.
Boomer. Yeah, it was wild, and the way that you gradually saw it revealed about what exactly happened. But does Davos completely understand? Do we completely understand? I'm not sure that I'm not just going by knowledge from what I know of the show.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know that he and Melisandre did the nasty.
Yep.
And then that gave birth to like the shadow monster thing.
Yep.
But does Sir Davos know that it's Stannis behind it and not the lady? I guess I'm
so the very last phrase in the chapter, and I'm going to read it as it is in the book, it explains the whole thing, how it rised out of her, and he knew that shadow as he knew the man who cast it, meaning it looked exactly like Stannis. Stannis had to have something to do with this. He even said at the beginning of the chapter, how is she keeping him, calm? Like he's having like nightmares and stuff like that. He doesn't look good. He can't sleep. So what is she doing to calm him? Is she like, he implies she must be sleeping with him. So he puts two and two together, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and we already know that though, because the previous shadow looked like Stannis too.
Yeah.
But Davos didn't see it, the previous one.
Yeah, but Catelyn and Brienne did.
Right. Yeah, and they saw it look like him. Okay, and I guess I knew that, but I'm confused.
No, go for it.
I'm saying these things.
What's the confusion?
Okay, is that thing that comes out of her TWAT, is that the son of Stannis, or is it Stannis? That's what
Very good question.
Yeah.
Because there's a point in this chapter where they talk about Stannis having nightmares.
Yes.
I think it's a piece of him.
It's definitely a piece of him.
Yeah, because you have only death may pay for life, so maybe only life may pay for death. And I believe Melisandre is dead. That's how she can do the shadows, and that's how she rarely eats and sleeps, and why the poison didn't work on her.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the fact that she's dead has a lot to do with it, because there's other red priestesses as well around the world, and they never do magic like that.
Okay.
Well, this is the part where you also know, like, what you're asking. It is Stannis in a way. Like, the act of sex created the shadow baby, taking a part of his own essence. Because when he talks about the dreams, he says, the king was very quiet did not speak. I'm sorry. For a long time, the king did not speak. Then very softly, he said, I dream of it sometimes, of Renly dying, a green tent, candles, a woman screaming, and blood. How would he know the color of the tent? How would he know about the women screaming? Like it's almost like he every night he dreams of it. It's almost like his punishment, because he may not have seen it while he was there because he was sleeping during this, but now he relives it in his dreams every time.
Yeah, okay. So then that's where I got confused, because I think in the show, they really made it out that it was just some little son of his. Like it was like it was separate from him. But here, it seemed like it was him. And so the casting of it, did Stannis know that he was casting a weird evil baby thing when he was doing the nasty with?
I don't know about the first one.
The casting, though, it's just that he cast the shadow. It's not that he did spell casting.
Well, she, in a way, did to form this baby, right?
But,
she's a shadow binder.
Yeah, but when he says he knew the man who cast it, and he's talking about the shadow, who cast the shadow.
Right.
Not necessarily a spell.
Well, what he means is the shadow itself it looks like Stannis.
Yes.
So that's what he means by it cast.
Yeah.
Like it looks like Stannis. That's all he meant by that. She cast the spell, but she took his essence, as we know. And I don't know if he understood exactly on the first one, but he definitely, he had to understand what was going to happen in the second one. And then Tina recalls, and I'm pretty sure this definitely happens in the show, but I think it happens in the book again. If I recall correctly, there was a point in the book that Stannis wants to try for another shadow baby, and she says he wouldn't survive giving up more life force. That definitely happens in the show. I can't remember if later in the book.
Don't think it's in the book, because there's no
right.
Melisandre and Stannis POV when they're together.
Oh, that's true. I know it definitely happens.
Unless it's in the Davos chapter, though.
Yeah, I can't remember that one either.
If it happens, though, I'm thinking it's book 3.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, that makes it a little.
Actually, it could be, though, when they're talking about the leeches. Because I think he wants a shadow baby, but then they're like, "Now we're going to have to use leeches."
Right, and then she shows power in a different way. Now,
Gendry.
Yeah, well, in the show it's Gendry, and this is a big difference. They leave out Edric Storm. Edric Storm's more important in the books than he was. He wasn't even talked about in the show. Gendry kind of took on the Edric Storm role in the show.
Oh, I do not know what planet I have been on. So that's why he wanted him so badly, because I had it in my head that later on it'll be Gendry that does that weird leech thing.
Yeah, no.
Okay, yeah.
And that's why Penrose doesn't know why he wants him, but he knows he doesn't want him for a good reason. So when he gives him this great terms, like, you could stay or go, your men can stay or go, you could take weapons, we just got to keep your horses, you won't be molested, go into your own, like, everything was perfect for these guys to surrender. But when he says, no, I need the boy, he knows he doesn't want him for good reasons.
Yeah, and the show kind of, in the final 4 seasons, they merged a lot of characters because Jon Snow is basically Jon Snow, Stannis, and Aegon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't even make sense on the show that he's Aegon, because they just said earlier in previous seasons that one of the children that the Lannisters killed was Aegon, and then Rhaegar has a kid just a few weeks later, and it names that one Aegon as well.
Yeah, how messed up would that be?
Yeah, that was really dumb.
That angered me. Hello, Lady Tauriel.
Hey, Tauriel.
Hey, hello.
How
Hi.
are you? It's good to see you. It's good to have you on. Thank you for being here.
Okay, and so just to... Oh, sorry.
Well, your internet usually doesn't love us, but we are definitely glad you're here. So real quickly, let me ask you before your internet kicks you out, how did you like this chapter, the Davos chapter?
I thought it was really, really interesting because he wanted to kill her. Everything in him wanted to strangle her on sight.
Mm-hmm.
But for his love of Stannis, he didn't.
Right.
But yet, it's still, he was scared of her, totally scared. But then his hatred of her and his love for Stannis kept him from doing that. So he obeyed his king.
Right. And don't forget, he did see what happened to the maester that tried to poison her. Like, he was part of that, the prologue in this book where he just allows it to happen. Like, Davos is the only one that knows what's about to happen and doesn't try to stop the maester. So before we even meet Davos, we know he does not trust or like Melisandre.
That's true, because when you see him first at the fire at the castle, you know something's up.
Right. Right. Such a good chapter. Such a good chapter. Teresa, where were you going to go next with yours? Teresa, you there? Okay. I don't know. She might be missing. She's not muted, but okay. What else did you get out of this one, Lady Tauriel? Anything else you pulled out of it? Anything with the whole dreams he's having? Do you believe that Stannis is reliving this through dreams every night, the killing of his brother?
I'm not sure if he realized it. I think he came to realize it, but at the time, he's so staunch in his belief about not having the magic there because he went along with his wife at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started feeding into it more and more.
Right. Right. It's kind of BS, right? At the beginning for him, he just does it. He follows what his wife believes, but then he starts to believe. And what I like about this magic with the shadow babies is that in both times, Stannis is out. He's asleep. Like, it's almost like he might not be casting the spell. She's casting it, but for it to work, he has to be unconscious. So subconsciously, he's controlling that shadow baby.
which could mean that he hasn't agreed to do it. She's done it when he's sleeping.
Right, and his subconscious kind of takes over and does it
or she just does it and without him knowing, but then he dreams about it later on and can't piece it together much.
That's what I wondered when I first read that, because everybody's like, ooh, they're doing it.
Right.
Maybe not.
Right.
I mean, yes, they may have, but like Steve said, they could be, he could be unconscious and not even really aware of what's happening.
Right.
And to him, everything is a dream.
Right.
It's nightmares that he keeps having, and he doesn't know why.
Yeah, at least for the first time, but the second time he did it, he would have known.
At least suspected.
Right.
But could he have stopped it, though? If he was having nightmares and she gave him something for his sleep or something, and then she just did it.
Wow, and then took advantage. I didn't even think about the sex part of it, him not being a willing partner. I've always imagined, hell yeah, I'm hitting that. And then the first time he's like, oh my God, that created something that killed because he knows the color of the tent. He hears Catelyn and Brienne screaming, like he hears a woman scream. He sees the candles in the tent. So he actually was seeing through subconsciously through the shadow baby's eyes.
Yeah, plus Stannis is very much a loyal person. You know?
Right.
If he gives his word, he keeps it. But so I wouldn't. He's not the cheating kind.
See, that's what I was thinking. Plus, it even said in the book that he was not that. How should I state this? He was not an amorous man.
Right. He didn't. He did it for his duty.
Yeah. So wait a second. This is blowing my mind. So maybe he wasn't doing the nasty in the way he was. It was while he's asleep, if I'm hearing you correctly, because in the show it has them on the table doing it. So maybe he actually wasn't committing adultery, if you will.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That would be a classic George Martin twist, though.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, and you see, it makes sense because I think I've said all along that if he's so loyal, even in the show, I was thinking he would consider that, cheating, even for a greater cause, he would consider that dishonorable because he, has his duty to his wife.
Yeah, but when it comes to war, though, he'll do whatever he can to win.
Right.
Oh, I know that.
But he doesn't lie.
Right. I think people also confuse with Stannis honor. Ned Stark was honorable. Stannis is duty bound. He's all about duty. Whatever duty calls for, Stannis will do it. If duty calls for, some sneak assassin attack, he'll do it. Ned Stark, honor bound, would not. That's the big difference between, a lot of people are like, well, what's the difference? They're the two sides of the same coin. They're not. Ned Stark was about honor, self-honor. Stannis is all about duty and the rule of law and what that duty tells him to do.
Yeah, and if he's sworn a vow to his wife, he's not breaking it.
No.
Yeah,
No.
see, that's what I'm saying is, so it makes far more sense that she was, in a sense, raping him.
I've never heard anybody else say that either until just now when us thinking about this. But it makes you're absolutely right. All of us, it makes way more sense that way. It makes sense that.
Yeah, but it's even in the chapter that they say that she was helping him sleep.
Right.
That could be exactly what she did. She helped him sleep and then she sagged him.
Yeah.
Yeah. They thought it might have been a euphemism, but it could have just been she gave him a potion. See, that's why I was so confused. Because remember, I told you at the beginning when we started this discussion, Sporking, because I was like, I didn't know what to think about it because I thought the show was messing up my thoughts on it. But when you look at the text, I think that's what I read.
Right. And what were you going to say, Lady Tauriel?
I think it was another red herring. You have to really look at that. Remember how I told you guys before? Look at small things.
Right.
That
The
right.
little things. Yep, you're absolutely right. And they start out such little fragments, and you have to really look at what he's writing multiple times for me to even understand what the heck he's talking about. Sometimes, it just seems so a throwaway line. But with George Martin, and that's why people are beating him up about the writing of this. He wrote himself into a couple corners for this next book, and every sentence he writes means something. He doesn't just use words. Like, every word has a meaning that he uses. And it's you got to read this book multiple times for at least me to catch, holy cow, he set this up 3 books ago, so.
And, imagine when you're getting older and you're not remembering that well, and all of a sudden you have 5 books like that.
And then you take on 10 other projects, but that's another.
That is definitely another story
for another day. If he wasn't taking on all these projects,
right.
I actually had a look at what we know about the next book, how far he's in, and he had said back in the day that he had 400 unused pages that was cut from book 5 to be used in book 6.
Right.
So it basically started off with 400 pages, and then he's said twice, I believe, that he has written over 200 pages.
Right. And what's a manuscript? 1,500 max?
Well, he said the next 2 books would be at least 1,500 pages each.
Right.
So
he has to be getting close.
He's at 1,000 roundabout, I think. If he's not been full of shit, I can only assume he's been honest,
right?
Because he seems to be too honest.
That's the problem sometimes, I guess.
So I'm thinking he should be at around 1,000 pages at the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have all the rewrites, all the editing, which probably takes even more time.
Right.
But I don't know. It's still, that's 100 pages a year.
Yeah. Hell.
No, not even that, because he already had 400.
Ugh.
So it's more like 50 pages a year.
Oh, just give us a book.
Yeah, because that is slow. I mean, holy shit. Robert Jordan did a book every second year, I think, or something like that, and they were bricks too. And holy crap, he had 1,000 characters as well.
Right.
It wasn't that foreshadowy though, but still,
Yeah. Before I lose my thought, Sporking, another thing that also struck me in this is how he said, I loved my brother. I didn't know I loved him until this.
Right. And he also says to the point, like, I loved him for the boy he was, not the man he became.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he didn't realize how much the death of his brother would affect him.
Yeah.
And I also think he regrets also the way it happened. Because it was treachery. It was treachery for a man who doesn't want, doesn't believe in gods and hates magic and just wants things to be what they are. He used one of the only magical things that happens in the books, and he's a part of that. And it was assassinating his brother when his brother was so staunch in his words where he said, I am giving my brother to the time we said it would. When his men wanted to attack early, Renly was the honorable one and the one that said, no, I said we would attack now, that this time we're waiting to that time. It goes to show you, once you believe something should be yours, what you'll do to get that. The duty he believes anything is allowed to become the king because it's his right and his birthright, I'm
also still surprised the stream is up, given that there's full nudity.
I know, I was just thinking about that.
It's been there for half an hour.
Boobies! I'll change the next page. I wasn't even thinking about that. Good call.
Seriously though, this is the only time I probably read 500 fantasy books.
Mhm.
This is the only book where a spellcaster. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
This is the only time I've seen a spellcaster summon something from her cunt.
Yeah. Truthfully, I mean, this is one of
This
those
is-
moments where you're like, whoa.
Yeah, this is like a marker in fantasy history. Nobody's
Yeah.
done that before.
That's true.
Ever.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I'm trying to think now. I'm thinking back at when it's been.
Now, they created out of the air. They created out of water. They created out of stone. They created things from objects,
Right.
but never from the body and quite that way.
Right? You know, they might have like a demon child, but not like cast a magical spell that disappears after one use. That is pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
And in a sense, this actually makes more sense. That it would be summoned like that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just, oh, I'm waving my hand and something comes out of the water. Because this actually has a process behind it.
Right. And then you wonder, you know, again, how did she create it? Was it mutual? Was it almost a rape scene? And then how long did it take to mature inside of her? And then, like, I love how Davos says, you know, her screams were of like pain and ecstasy. Wait a minute, where was it? Her cry might have been anguish or agony or ecstasy or both. Like, he couldn't even tell if she was enjoying it, if it was like painful like birth, or was it both? You know?
Also, this kind of in a little way, it reminds me of Alien, the movie.
Right.
Which I'm sure George Martin is a huge fan of, because he's a sci-fi buff. Where the xenomorph is symbolic of male rape and pregnancy,
Interesting.
because the face hugger looks like something, you know. And
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You
So
know
I'm
what?
wondering if he took a little bit of inspiration from that, because this is
Right.
like, this scene is like a twisted version of the chestbuster scene in Alien.
Or of Mary. Oh God, what is that one? Some
Rosemary's Baby.
Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah,
Plus,
it's Rosemary's
you-
Baby mixed with.
if you look back too, it reminds me a lot of the scene from Excalibur.
Oh, which scene is that?
Oh,
Morgana.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Oh, that's
And
very
that-
good. I never thought of that.
Yeah, that's
That's
going
a-
back a ways.
Yeah,
But-
I love that movie though. I love that movie. But what an interesting one to pull out, because that is that ecstasy, that pain, that, you know, giving birth to like a demon child in a way. Yeah, that's interesting. You know what else I noticed in this one? So Storm's End is an ancient castle. Storm's End is considered built during the like the heroes' time. Many say Bran the Builder was involved in the building of it. The story goes, the king of the Stormlands took the daughter of the sea god and wind, I think, a goddess, child, and married her. And they kept, like, anytime he put up a castle, they would destroy it. And Bran the Builder built this castle with magic runes and the children of the forest involved, and they could never knock it down. And when Melisandre gives birth to go into this castle, she had to be underneath it. She couldn't give birth outside the castle and the magic can get in. She had to actually be within the castle walls in a way. Even though they're under it, they're within the castle so that her magic could actually enter the castle. So it goes to show you even some of these ancient stories were true, that these castles do have magic.
Well, this is a massive hint, though,
Mm.
because it shows that the magic she uses is at odds with the children of the forest.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Very good.
that's a big hint.
Mhm.
And maybe
First.
it's a lot like the magic in the wall that
Oh.
keeps things from entering that are also dead.
Right. Right. Could the children of the forest, even though a lot of us feel like they may be the bad guys, are they the defenders of life? And the
Or-
Lord of Light and the Lord of the other are the defenders of death.
Well, if the children of the forest built the wall, most likely it was to keep people from going north rather than the opposite, because that's what it looks like, right?
Right.
So with the castle, maybe they had there was something there that served as a little safe haven for them for a while, which
Right.
was why it got torn down, because people attacked it because they had something to do with it.
Right. 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 Right.
So it's interesting that it blocks her magic in a sense, or blocks that kind of magic.
Okay, this is a good question. For Joe
Here's-
Kim
oh.
Stark, do you believe her magic was at all powerful prior to the hatching of the dragons?
Yeah.
The Lord of Light? I do. I believe Lord of Light magic, shadow binding, anything from a shy was still able to be cast.
I don't think the dragons have anything to do with magic.
Oh,
I just think it's when the dragons are hatched, right? The story starts turning more and more into fantasy, which he said it would.
no, see, I disagree with that. I believe that the dragons, the birth of the dragons enhanced magic again, because they even say in Karth in one of the last chapters or one of the next chapters that the warlocks wouldn't, or the guy who was climbing the fire mage, climbing the ladder, like couldn't even like light a match before her dragons were born.
Yeah, but that could just be a saying or someone exaggerating.
I don't
You
know.
know, like this lady's a witch because the farmer over there had a two-headed cow.
Could be. I believe that certain magic didn't work as well until the dragons came back.
I think, if anything, the comet affected magic.
Okay, I'll give you that. It could be the comet, and people are just putting the
Because,
dragons because they're magical.
Astral bodies do affect the world.
Yep.
Yep. The moon, right, affects everything.
Right.
So a red comet, I think, if there's something, like an element in this, the Westeros world that is magic,
Mm-hmm.
that got affected by the comet.
I could see that too. I can understand. Yeah, World of Ice and Fire does tie the dragons to magic, but that again, Lasso of Truth is the Maesters saying that.
But the dragons could also have their own magic.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
dragon magic, not anything to do with anything else.
Well, let me ask you, Lady Tauriel, do you think the dragons enhanced magic when they came back into the world, or is it just because there are some references to magic not working as well until the dragons came back?
I'm more along the lines with Stannis there that I think the comet had a lot to do with it, but I think the dragons hold their own magic, and the riders could tap into their magic, but they have no riders.
Right.
Here's a thought, though. The Long Night was 10,000 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and something triggered it, right?
Right. Oh, I know where you're going.
I think the comet passes every 10,000 years.
It could.
That enhances magic around the planet, and it wakes the White Walkers.
I also was going to add to that. how do we know that the first time the comet came through 10,000 years ago or so, that wasn't the birth of dragons?
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe they're they always go hand in hand. Even though the White Walkers may have been around a little longer than the comet actually showing up, because the comet didn't show up until the second book. They were already active in the beginning of the first. But they could have go hand in hand.
Yeah, but it could have been close enough.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe the others herald the comet's coming and the birth of dragons again.
Yeah, because I find it, well, it's fantasy, so yeah. But George Martin tends to have a little bit of science in it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So I don't think that just because 3 lizards were born on the other continent, that magic starts working on all the continents just because there's 3 new lizards.
Right.
That's it's fantasy, but I don't never found that plausible.
Right. I think people are just attaching to it, you're saying? What do you think, Teresa?
Yeah.
Do you think dragons enhance magic, or is it just a coincidence?
I honestly have no idea. I'm almost a little lost here because, I don't have the perspective of everything. Do they make a fuss about the comet in later books too, or is it just in this one?
Only Danny refers to it again, I think, after this book.
Okay, so you're asking, is it which comes first, the dinosaur or the egg? I honestly just don't know. I feel like I need some more information before I answer that. But I think, is it very possible that it's not even really magic? now I'm starting to wonder.
It could be science.
Some sort of, natural phenomenon that people are attributing to magic.
There are people out
it.
Right. There are people out there that believe it's more of a, not just science-based, but like telekinesis type based powers. Some believe it has more a mixture of science and magic. What's the difference really? Magic or science looks like magic to people that don't understand it. How's it going, Nerd Cookies?
Lasso of Truth says she doesn't think the dragons caused magic. She thinks they enhanced it.
That's what I'm saying.
But here's what I'm thinking, though, that they didn't cause magic, but they were enhanced by the magic because of the comet.
Right. That's
because they did say the comet heralds dragons.
Right. And I believe like the comet, now that you say it that way, I believe the comet might have brought magic back, but I believe that dragons also, the more dragons, the more it enhances magic, the more powerful they're magic. They're like pure fire. They're pure magic. So why wouldn't they maybe enhance magic around them?
Here's the thing though. The comet arrives, right? And magic gets enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
It's called A Song of Ice and Fire, and it seems like both fire and ice has been enhanced.
Right.
Right? Because of the White Walkers and the dragons.
Right.
Something to think about, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to keep
because
that
because that red comet symbolizes fire, right? But it's also surrounded by cold because it's in space.
It's ice. It's ice that looks like fire.
Yeah, literally it's ice.
It's literally ice
literally
that looks
ice
like fire. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's wow. Yeah, that comet, a lot more than I, have ever put into it. Just thinking about it right here. That's crazy. We just went off on a tangent. We went down a rabbit hole on that one. That's a good one though. The comet is the heralder of magic. It brings magic and it brings, yes, like you said, Old Non, Osha, they're the two people I believe the most when it comes to stories of old, and they both said dragons. They both believe dragons come from the comet. No matter what anybody else says a comet means, I believe those two over anybody.
So that means the comet enhanced the dragons.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then,
yeah,
but then
especially
chicken
on-
and the egg. Does then do dragons enhance magic once they are born?
Well, the comet was there first.
Yeah,
and
of course.
magic was being done before the dragons were born.
Right, before they came back.
As big time magic in the tent before
Again, a shy. You know, like that's why I know Melisandre's magic was powerful still before the comet or the dragons, because going back to our original question, because of her, of Mary Mazdu or whatever you call her.
Yeah, and you have Thoros of Myr as well. He was using a burning sword.
Right. Right.
During the Greyjoy rebellion.
Right.
That was
so
way
he's
before.
using magic. Yeah. Definitely. That's whoa, damn, man. That
So magic, and you know, that's not blood magic.
Right. That's fire magic.
Yeah. So that was I'm not sure. Is there magic in the Dunk and Egg stories though? Yes, it is. Bloodraven used plenty of magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he used glamours. You're right. Damn. Okay.
And Children of the Forest used magic before there was dragons.
Right. I think you're right. I think the comet, the fire and ice comet, was what enhanced magic. And it just also, because of that power it brought, it was able to hatch the eggs because of Dany's sacrifice.
Yeah, and the comet was, you know, basically straight above Dany.
Yep.
When she hatched the dragons.
Absolutely. Boom. That's the answer right there. I believe it. Holy crap. That was good. There's other stuff I wanted to go over, but damn, that was good. I could almost end the stream right now. That was that good. Back to Davos, though. Damn, keep thinking about that one, though. I'd like to go deeper into that another time.
So Davos is probably saying FML through the whole chapter.
Pretty much. Do you notice how he always sees... He's very aware of everybody else's sigils, and, you know, that's like a writing technique George uses, but he uses Davos to tell you who all these people are, and how they treat him as a lesser, you know, he's not a lord yet. He's like a knight right now, but as a lesser knight than them because he's new, even though if it wasn't for him, a lot of them would have been dead during the, you know, rebellion, because he's the one that brought them food. I find that to be interesting.
I always thought, well, if my theory about the Norse mythology thing is correct, right, then all the main players basically are based on Norse gods.
Right.
But and Davos, I always thought represented humanity. Which means if there's no humans, there's no gods, because there's nobody to worship them.
Right. And he worships Stannis. Yeah, go ahead, Lady Tauriel.
In the hierarchy that is right there, they don't think he measures up because he was a lowly person brought up by Stannis. So they look down on him like, why should we include you in this? Because even though you earned it, and he did earn it by saving everybody's bacon, they just expect to be treated that way because they've always been treated that way, and no one from a lower station being raised up there will ever equal them.
Right. Right. Even though at some point their family had to be raised up too. You know, like, it always makes me laugh, like the old money and new, and how they look down their nose at the new money. But truthfully, everybody got there somehow. Look at like the stories of the Lannisters, you know, clan, who is it? I forget the Lannisters patriarch, but he like swindled the Casterlys out of their home and their power, you know, by trickery. So like at least someone like Davos was honorable, and he was punished for his past. Stannis makes sure like the good deeds don't wash out the bad. Again, duty, justice is different than honor, and that's what Stannis is. He's duty and justice, and he chops off his the fingers above the knuckles for Sir Davos, and he wears them around his neck to remind him of where he came from.
Lasso of Truth has said something in the chat. She says the Targaryen motto is fire and blood, and she thinks it has to do with the creation of the blood bond between the dragons and the Targaryen. I think I think that's correct.
Yeah,
but blood and fire, that's how Daenerys' dragons got born.
Right.
So maybe that's how they created them.
Right, sacrifice and
human sacrifice plus a heck of a lot of fire.
Well, don't forget the stories about the slaves underneath the 14 flames, like under the mountains, begging for death, and what the Valyrians would do to them. They would use them in their blood rituals. A lot of people believe slaves were used in the making of Valyrian steel. The blood and the fire of the dragon made Valyrian steel and what it is. So yeah, I agree with that. That's a very good comment right there. Interesting. Anything else about Davos?
Excellent character, though.
Freaking excellent, man. You know who I really love in this is Sir Courtney Pembroke. I think he was great. He stood his ground. He talked crap to everybody. All these people that flip sides so easily. And that's another thing that I noticed is like Stannis is all about justice and duty. And these guys all went to his brother when he was the rightful heir. At least in his mind, he is the right, and by law, he was the rightful heir. Now, do you think down the road, if Stannis wins the Game of Thrones and becomes king, will he punish these turncoats for what they did with Renly? Because think about what he did with Sir Davos. Sir Davos, brought them onions, brought them, food. And then after the rebellion was over, he cut off his fingers because of his crimes of smuggling way before. So will he now punish these guys if he ends up winning, like for what they did prior?
I would say no, because they are saying when he accepted the surrender of the folks at where he was at, that he wouldn't punish them and he would keep his word.
Oh, it's true. He should, though.
I just want Stannis to win in the north and get to do cool things with that other northern family.
Mm-hmm. I love Davos. Love him. Lady Tauriel, were you trying to say something?
No.
Okay.
I was.
It's a good one, though. It's a good one. Davos is one of those characters that makes this book so much better.
If you think about it, if Stannis seems to represent the law and justice, right?
Mm-hmm.
The North is where that is needed the most.
Oh, yeah. Davos to me is what Davos, Brienne, even the Hound, like these are people that, and the Hound isn't, but like a knight, which is a true knight, and they come from, because it's almost like the people that are outcast or coming from a lower station or are unconventional knights are the people that truly believe and understand what that vow means. The people that are just born knights, born into a family, become knights because that's what expected of them. They're the ones that do not honor what a knight is. So Sir Davos is one of the only true knights in this book.
That's true. Born out fire and tempered, you become steel.
Right. Good way of putting it.
Yeah, Davos actually earned it.
Yep. Is he Lightbringer? Think about what she just said. Tempered steel.
Huh.
Is Davos Lightbringer? Is he
Oh boy.
Stannis' Lightbringer? Holy
No,
crap.
he's an onion bringer.
Yeah, the onion bringer.
He has layers.
All right, we got Jon up next. We have spent an hour on that one, so we'll move on. That was crazy. Which one are you reading, Lady Tori? Or I'm sorry, Teresa. Are you reading Tyrion?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm reading this one. All right, let me just close that.
Teresa gets to do the small talk.
There you go.
Well,
Dun, dun, dun. Jon hears the call of a war horn, one blast to signify brothers returning. Qhorin Halfhand has arrived with his 100 men from the Shadow Tower. Qhorin recognizes Jon and tells him that he knew Lord Edarch and Jon's grandfather, Lord Rickon, as well. The men from the Shadow Tower were delayed because they met Alfine Crowkiller and his men who had been scouting along the wall. They killed the wildling leader and took some captives, but lost 4 men in the process. Later, Jon overhears dissent in the ranks as Chet and Lark, the sister men, speak of not going into the Frostfangs, no matter what the old bear orders. Jon has given the war horn he found to Sam because it is cracked and he could get no sound from it, but Sam likes ancient items. In Mormont's tent, Jon overhears Qhorin telling Mormont about a captive claiming that Mance Rayder had wargs and mammoths in his army. He also explains that the captive claims the wildlings plan to breach the wall, not climb it or burrow beneath it. Qhorin tells them that Mance is seeking something in a high, cold place of the Frostfangs, some power or artifact. Qhorin advises the old bear to send scouts into the mountains, and Mormont agrees. Jarman Buckwell will take 4 men to climb the giant's stairs. Thorn Smallwood will lead a party to probe the Milkwater, while Qhorin himself will lead a third party into the Skirling Pass. Immediately chooses Jon Snow as one of his 4 men, stating, "The old gods are still strong beyond the wall, the gods of the first men and the Starks." Wow, that was a quick one. Holy crap. That was probably the fastest one we've ever had. All right.
Side note, something kind of big hit me,
Yeah.
and it's spoilerish. So if
Are you
people
talking
don't
about
want-
Sam?
No.
Oh, okay.
Something brand new.
All right. Cover your ears if you don't want to hear spoilers.
is this spoiler for the book, Steeg, or for the TV show?
The
books.
It's possible. No, if you watch the TV show, you're not going to get spoiled.
Okay, I'll stay then.
Well, here's the thing. There's that theory about Sir Arthur Dane being Mance Rayder,
Right.
and Qhorin Halfhand is in on it,
Yep.
and they were all about Azor Ahai, right? And Azor Ahai has to stick his sword into someone who's sacrificing themselves willingly,
Mm-hmm.
and that creates Lightbringer. Qhorin.
Oh,
It
Yes.
happens almost in the same thing. He's kneeling down,
And that's with Longclaw, right?
yes, it fits.
It does fit.
So Lightbringer has already been. It's already happened, and it did when the comet was there too.
Right. Some people say Qhorin Halfhand is the Went that was with what's his name you just said it. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. You just said his name. Not Mance Rayder, but Mance Rayder could be
Arthur Dane.
Arthur Dane. Wow.
Yeah, I
some-
absolutely believe it's Arthur Dane because of the fighting scene.
Yes,
that happened.
that is the one reason I believe it too,
Yeah, so
or could believe it.
Qhorin was way too eager to sacrifice himself to that sword.
Yep. Like he found the perfect reason to do it, where Jon could not say no.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
I think that one is. Yeah, it just popped into my head. I think, Longclaw, or rather Jon Snow, is Lightbringer. And here's the thing. Lightbringer is also a name for Lucifer,
Yes.
right? Jon Snow becomes the 998th Lord Commander.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But they removed Bloodraven from the records, which means Jon is number 999. Inverted, you get 666.
That's true.
Yep, get out the holy water, kids. Call a priest.
Yeah.
Get an exorcism here.
Yeah.
Or could he also be the 1000th because they take out the Night King?
If he really existed.
Well, they say he was the 13th Lord Commander. So, I don't know. I always wondered that too. Is he 99 or is he 1,000? Because I forgot about, well, I always thought he was 99 because of that, but I always forgot about Bloodraven being taken out.
I just thought it was weird that they 998 and then very close.
Yeah.
Very close to an inverted 666 and the Lightbringer thing. They kind of fit together, don't they?
Right.
But anyway, it just struck me that Corin Halfhand and Jon, that's the Lightbringer thing right there.
Yeah. That's what I'm agreeing with you on Another Monster. I believe that is what Sam is holding. But it's broken.
Plus, that sword had been kept and not given until Jon.
Right. Right. Longclaw, you're talking about, right? But how, and people are like, well, Lightbringer's a lot older than Valyrian steel. Okay. But does it say that Lightbringer couldn't be a new weapon, like just the actual act of the sacrifice?
Also, like we talked about before, Benjen and the Lord Commander, right? It's kind of full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we're going to go find Waymar Royce. He's been missing for ages.
Right.
He's dead.
Right.
And they know that from the traitor that Ned took. And then Benjen goes. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to go look for Benjen, right? Who for some reason got sent north. And then as soon as they lose Jon, they go back. It's almost like they delivered Jon.
Right. Wow. It is. And then you get, just quickly to touch on it, you get the descent, the starting of a descent with Chet and those guys. This is what happens when you find your recruits in prisons, dead men walking. Just something I thought I'd touch on because it comes into importance later on.
Yeah. Anyway, I think there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes with the Lord Commander and everyone up north because it's
Lord Commander knows something about Jon. He knows
it's just
something.
a lot of weird reasons for them doing this and that, and we as readers knows that this is shady because it doesn't add up.
Mm-hmm.
But yet you don't know exactly what it is. Something's off, but you're not quite sure what.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it fits so well with the Arthur Dayne theory.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it's just funny how, also Jon takes a dragon glass knife he makes, from that glass, not realizing he might need it later on. Like, there's a lot going on in this chapter. I believe that horn. Do you think that horn is the Horn of Winter?
That wasn't that supposed to be huge, though?
Well, that's the tale says it's huge.
Yeah.
This is a very old. So they try to make it seem like the dragon glass being planted there is probably Benjen or somebody like that because the black coat it was in wasn't that old. But yet this ancient ruined horn is in there. I mean,
but if it's Benjen that left his cloak, he'd freeze to death.
Right. Or one of the dead brothers he was with cloak.
I think the Children of the Forest
might have left it.
Yeah, because Bran says when he realizes, he's told Benjen is missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Bran is not worried at all. He says the Children of the Forest will take care of him. That's what he says.
Right, that's true.
And I'm kind of thinking they killed him, took the cloak, and just buried it. And then they made Ghost go find it for Jon.
Right. I do like, Corin's What?
Another monster said something interesting. The horn could be huge in the hands of the children of the forest.
Oh, that I never even thought of it being like that. He's absolutely right. It'd be like if your cousin Stephen Walton was holding it, it would be massive because he's tiny. But like someone like you, it would be normal size. Another monster, perfect. That's true though. Think about that.
Yeah,
They were small.
And smaller dogs blow harder.
Yeah, and I like how John tried to use it, but he could not get it to work. I got something in my eye.
Because
Excuse
he's
me
not
for a second.
Because he's not dead.
The
Wait,
dog
you
agrees.
think someone has to be dead?
Yeah.
Sorry, Teresa. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying the dog was chiming in and agreeing.
Yes, I'm sorry. My
No
dog-
problem. I left it out.
I think whoever blows the horn has to be a firewhite.
Well, I was also wondering because when another horn we see works. Ah, God. Not to spoil it, but there is another horn in this book that when we see it work, it definitely doesn't turn out well for the person who blows it.
Yeah, and it seems to affect dragons, which is
Right.
makes it a horn of fire, kind of.
Right. Now, this horn of winter wakes the giants. Or, like that's what it says. Some people believe that means it actually controls giants. Some people say it's earthquakes. But whatever it is, has to have some type of power with the cold. But will it kill the person that actually blows it? That's what I wonder. I don't know. It's an interesting chapter. Anybody have anything else on it? It's a short one, though.
No, I mean, a lot of these chapters, to me, they don't seem to be very intense.
Right.
Himself and the Danny ones I've found in this book, not a lot.
Kind of setup chapters, right?
Yeah, and I'm thinking that since we're nearing the end of the book, a lot of the stuff that they did in season 2 is actually in book 3. Am I correct?
Season 2 is mostly book 2.
Okay, because I just seem to remember that Egret was...
Yes, right.
Okay.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's this book, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, there's still, I mean, we're on I'm on 633, and this book goes to 9 something, almost 1,000. So, I mean, there's still like 400 pages left, 300 at least. So, there's still a good amount that he gets done. You're absolutely right, though. You would think it would be going into the next book.
Okay.
I don't know. I think there's a lot more to this chapter
Yes.
than what people think.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's the whole setup of being watched,
Mm-hmm.
and they all, the older knights know something.
Absolutely.
And then there's this setup, which I think is a misdirect when it comes to the glass and the horn.
Another red herring, you're saying?
To a degree, I think.
Right, like kind of making us want to look at it, but other than the glass doing what it can do, the horn has no meaning?
Not necessarily. It may not have the meaning that everyone just goes,
Right.
aha.
Right.
Because he is very, very good at misdirect. So what that horn does may be something that triggers something that everyone is not expecting.
Mm-hmm. True. I didn't think of it that way. I like how you said that. I might do something completely different than what we think. I do like how he brings up wargs and mammoths. With pretty much a warg standing next to him. It's like, and no one knows it. Not even John.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I found that the chapters that seem to have nothing, if you go back and look at them, they do have something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the beauty of his writing. You think it's like a filler chapter, but it really is an important chapter for later on in the books.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Kim and Lasso of Truth there, Stig, if John, if someone dies, can they then blow the horn and live?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. And I think it has to be a fire white, which is what the Lord of Light people creates when they raise people.
Do you think Corin and the Old Bear and even Mance Rayder are working with a man under a tree that's in a cave?
I think someone has been communicating, someone at the wall has been communicating with a man under a tree in the cave, which is why that person's name has been removed from the list.
Okay. Right, because that was he the one before? No, not right before Mormont, but Mormont would have known of him, and it might have been a brother when he was the Lord Commander.
Yeah, because the
no, he went missing.
Aemon, blind Aemon at the wall.
Yes,
he was about the same age as the old man under the tree in the cave, and he was a relative to him.
Yes. He yeah. I mean, about a 10-year difference, yeah.
And he went up to the wall for no good reason.
Right. I love the excuse about his brother. That's BS.
Yeah.
Why did he go to the wall?
Well, his brother, though, he could be talking about a Night's Watch brother, couldn't he?
Right. No, what I'm saying is
just twisting the words a bit.
Right, but what I'm saying is, he went to the wall to protect Egg, so that they wouldn't try to use him against Egg when Egg was chosen to be king. But why choose the wall? Just because it's the farthest place? You could have gone, some random house in the north. You could have gone some random house in Dorne. Or maybe not Dorne, but like the Westerlands. Or the one sept that's out in the on the Isles. So, like, for him to say that the reasoning was Egg, I think it was prophecy. And that's why he's up there.
Yeah, and I think, with that Arthur Dane theory,
yep,
all the players that seemingly vanished are up in the north.
Right.
Waiting for something.
Yeah. I wonder, yeah.
And I think Melisandre might be, what's her name? Sheila Sandstar or whatever?
Oh, Shiera Seastar.
She's Seastar. Yeah. I think
Seashells. Yeah.
I think that's Melisandre. Because she vanished too.
And she could be that old. I could see that. I was about to ask you if you think it's Melisandre, Quaithe, or Old Nan.
No, I think I think Old Nan is the one from the Dunk and Egg books.
Right. That's what we're going to find out.
Yeah. But I think Melisandre is Seastar.
Yeah. It's not Quaithe.
No.
Okay. Those are the two that I've heard most. Some people thought Old Nan, but if we get the She-Wolves of Winterfell, which is the next Dunk and Egg novella, we might find that out, who Old Nan really is. But that's interesting. All right. Let us move on to the next one, which is your chapter there, Stig. Tyrion. This is another good chapter.
No, it's not
Tyrion.
mine, it's Teresa's.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Teresa.
You confused me with Steve. I know.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's easy to do. I understand.
Right. It's no tall order. But we got a short story here. I'm trying to do trying to do height jokes. All right, I'm not as good as Stig. Take it away, Teresa.
Alrighty.
Yeah, but be short and blunt.
He's a master.
Oh, no. Okay. Here we go. Once upon a time, Tyrion learns from Lancel that the Queen intends to hide Tommen away at Rosby under the care of Lord Giles. He is disturbed that Varys has not learned of this or decided not to inform him. Later, Tyrion has Bronn deliver word to Sir Jacelyn Bywater, commanding him to take 50 men and capture Lord Giles' party, and to expel the garrison and keep Tommen safe at Rosby. He does not want Lord Rosby hurt, nor any killing done in front of Tommen. Aww. For this, Sir Jocelyn will earn a lordship. Bronn offers to do the job instead if there's a lordship in it for him, but Tyrion refuses, privately noting that Bywater's men will defend Tommen, whereas Bronn's are more likely to sell Tommen to the Crown's enemies if the coming battle goes against them. Tyrion then sets out for Chataya's brothel, but then abandons his patience and rides directly to the manse near the Iron Gate. He shouldn't have. He finds Shay listening to a singer and has the man expelled and sworn to silence. When one of the begging brothers appears, Shay recognizes him as Lord Varys. The spider informs Tyrion that Storm's End has fallen and that Stannis will soon be marching on King's Landing. Tyrion bids Varys to wait at the stables while he talks to Shay. Once alone, Shay asks Tyrion to make her his lady in court and even suggests he kill Cersei. But Tyrion tells her the man who kills his own blood is cursed forever in the sight of gods and men. When Tyrion proposes to take her to the Red Keep and hide her in the kitchens, Shay balks and mocks him for being afraid of his father. Tyrion slaps her in the face, telling her never to mock him again. Feeling remorseful, he tells her the story of Tysha and his father's wrath. He departs to meet Varys at the stables, and the eunuch suggests that Shay be placed as a maidservant to Lady Tanda's daughter, Lawless. Shay would then be able to access the Tower of the Hand through a secret passage which Tyrion is surprised to learn exists. Varys then attempts to tell Tyrion how Sir Courtney died, and when he suggests it was magic, Tyrion disbelieves him. Varys recounts the story of how he came to be a eunuch, that he was a member of a mummer's troop, and that one day in Myr, a certain man bought Varys from his master. The sorcerer castrated Varys and burned the parts, creating a blue flame from which a voice spoke in a language he didn't comprehend. Varys claims he has hated magic since that day and means to see Stannis dead if the man practiced magic. Tyrion is somewhat skeptical, believing it more likely that Stannis has hired a skilled assassin from the Free Cities, musing on how he used to dream of being rich enough one day to hire a faceless man to kill his sister. Tyrion's greater concern is that Stannis is now bringing his army to bear against King's Landing, and he is the only one standing in the way of Stannis' victory. With the city's people's hatred for House Lannister and himself in particular at its highest, defeating Stannis seems unlikely. Dun, dun, dun! So that's it. Like,
Gee, did we lose everybody?
oh, we
Oh,
did. I was
yeah.
gonna say.
I hit the wrong button.
I'm like, and then okay, it was nice talking to y'all. See you tomorrow. No.
I meant to kill the Clash of Kings one, not the summary, not me. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, so-
I did it to
Yes.
myself.
Good night, everybody.
I know. Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. What a great chapter, guys.
Mhm.
This is a good one. That was great. What do you think, Teresa? You read it. What did you take from this chapter?
Well, first of all, Shay is dumber than a rock.
Yes. Or is she?
My lady at court. And then Tyrion wanting her to be a scullery maid, that actually seemed like a dumb idea. And I even thought of that. I'm like, what the? And Varys even pointed out, yeah, someone that hot being a scullery maid is going to have men all over her. Women are going to be jealous. There's going to be people wanting to know where she came from. Too much gossip. and choosing her to be the lady's maid to the chick who got raped and never goes out now was a better idea. But I still think it's risky as F.
Right, but is she dumb? I think she's way smarter than she plays on, and she's not there for love. Go ahead, please.
I think she's there to get close to someone.
Yeah.
So I think Tyrion is a means to an end.
Yes.
Oh, so you're thinking she might have been manipulating him to try to get
close to someone. But
let's put it this way, real quick. Not many people. There's really nobody unless Varys wants them to see he's playing a different character. Like he was dressed up as a beggar's brother or whatever they're called again, and she saw right through it. She knew it was Varys. Not many people could do that. There's something about her, and I think she's a plant as much as Stig was just going into. You're absolutely right, Stig.
Yeah, you never know who she came from. Remember where she came from?
Right. Some lords. Right.
Yes, they never clarified that. They always left it a mystery.
Right.
Yeah. I did catch when reading this that there was a hole in her backstory that Tyrion even caught, but was too dumb to, not dumb, didn't quite notice that maybe it was a little more nefarious than perhaps he pondered, because she said that she left her dad because he made her become a scullery maid. Then Tyrion's all, I thought you said you left because your daddy was doing the nasty with you. And then she's like, oh, well, he did both. And then he kind of lets it go. But to me, I was like, oh.
Okay.
This girl wasn't telling the truth that she accidentally did, and then that she covered herself by saying that.
I didn't even
nice
think
catch.
Of that. I've never noticed that one. Did you, Stig?
No, I try not to think about Shay at all.
Oh, thank you. Well, no, it just struck me as I was listening. It's like, dang. And then she covered in, I guess I thought she was stupid though, that she was a social climber, but you're,
right.
You're seeing a little deeper. Wow.
There's slight spoiler. I think there's a reason why a certain person is sitting on the toilet after he's been with her. Because of stomach problems, which a certain poison does.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people have been talking against that. I believe that too. I think there was something to do with that, and it wasn't. Well, we'll get into that later on. But
okay.
I agree with you.
Okay. So he just wasn't an old man taking a dump.
There's a lot of clues.
There's the clues, and then next time you see him on the slab.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll get to that one when it comes up, but I agree with you on that. I still think there's even darker reasons she's with him and the family. Is it Dorne that paid her? I don't know. But for her to see through Varys, and I almost think Varys uses forms of glamour at times, but to see through his disguise, she has to have been round enough of that to be able to see through it, or trained in the art of that type of disguise work. Not mummers, but more like, they also bring up, in the same chapter, Teresa, they bring up the assassins from the Free Folk, or the Bravos. So
the faceless people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So think about it.
You sold me. I was thinking she was being dumb.
No.
Now I'm thinking she's smarter than.
Right.
Well, if she is a faceless man, right? She would be able to see through glamours or whatever that Varys is using with ease, I'm thinking.
Right. And even fake her own death.
Well, it's
make someone believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, when somebody's in an emotional state, maybe you don't even realize if that person's alive or dead because you're so emotional. Because they just stop moving doesn't mean they're dead. I'm just saying, I think she's more than what we thought she was. And we may never find out, but something about her screams, I am not just some prostitute. And Teresa, nice pickup on that mess up of her backstory, because I never caught that one before.
Yeah, I thought it was just part of her just pulling a sad "woe is me" thing. But if she is a spy, then
yeah,
that
definitely believe she's a spy.
Yeah, because that would take a lot of cleverness to do such a quick comeback.
Right.
But
well,
if she's a faceless, I'm wondering if... Oh, no, I can't do that. It's way beyond this book.
Yeah, it's tough. It's so tough.
Let's say Tyrion may know her intimately.
Say that again.
You're a robotic.
Yeah, you went a little robotic there.
Oh, sorry. Is that any better?
Yes.
Okay. Tyrion may have known her before intimately. Do you you know where I'm going with this, right?
Oh, the lady he married. That it's the same one.
Oh. Telling her own story? Oh, that'd be crazy. I still do want... Yeah.
Think if she's a faceless one.
Right. He would never know.
That's wild.
Yeah,
that is wild. So that would mean that Tysha is dead, right? Because isn't that how the faceless people steal people's identity?
Or the real Shay is dead, and Tysha is Shay. Tysha, after what happened to her, went and trained. She had enough money to go to Bravos after what they did to her.
Huh.
Wouldn't that be a crazy
That
twist?
would be wild.
Oh, George, throw that one in there.
Yeah, and then Tyrion actually kills her because she says she loves him and blah blah blah. And what if she actually means it?
Right.
And
twice
she took revenge on Tywin for them.
Wow.
That was her plan all along.
That would be a twisted.
Oh my
thing.
God, that'd been so awesome.
That's what I was thinking. I've been thinking since I got further on in the book.
I never would have put that together.
Because he can I say this? I don't want to spoil it. Teresa, how far have you gotten in books?
Well, I'm just now here in the Clash of Kings, but I've seen the TV show, so I know some things that happen with
I don't want to spoil
Shay.
it for you, though.
Let's just, we'll put a tack in that one, and hopefully we remember it, because that's a good one.
But I'll tell you, my mind just blew up from everything y'all just said, or rather it just exploded, because her whole motivation could just be that, what you said, just revenge against her being raped. It's not some big, great conspiracy from Dorne or from other people. It's just, and that the whole thing was to get revenge, and that maybe that's why they're so loving, or whatever
that
Tyrion feels with
so
her.
Well,
yeah, like what you said there, Lady Tauriel. But I'm kind of going over it in my brain. It's like, yes, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Right. It could be. I mean, I like how Senator Sheaf says the theories make him hate theories, but I'm sorry, I completely disagree, because I do believe she is a plant. I mean,
and that came into my head when I got further into the book and I wrote, but with talking, it kind of just
you're robotic again.
Okay.
Sorry. A little bit better. It's a little robotic, but I understand robotics, so don't worry.
That just kind of clicked my head, when we were talking about it.
Yeah, it's worse.
It's way worse now.
Yeah, give it a second. It usually clears up. You'll be fine. Yeah, this is one of those chapters. What about the whole cutting of the member? What do you guys think about that one with Varys?
Well, talk about some dark magic and with sexual organs again. We already saw the twat. Now we have the wingerdinger.
Right, the next chapter. One of the
It's
next
almost
chapters.
as if well, the twat kind of caused magic, and then the dong got sacrificed for magic. But
Well,
personally, I think Varys is egg.
yeah, you really believe that one, huh?
Yes, and he has king's blood, which is why he got that's the sacrifice, thing happened.
But if that happened to Egg, it would have happened to him as an adult.
Yeah. I think maybe they took him with the Summerhall thing.
Well, no one has seen it. No one has actually seen. They just believe that he's a eunuch because he says he's a eunuch. Has anybody ever said they checked? I've never seen one reference to someone actually seeing it. I've heard Tyrion wanting to see it. Do you have a gash down there or but no one has actually seen it. So it could be a complete lie altogether because when he plays a man, he's very masculine with a gruff voice. And so who's to say he's not playing a eunuch and is actually the gruffer voice is actually him?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I still think it's egg, and since he doesn't have an appendage between his legs, he's truly an egg now.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh.
He could have lost it in the fires of Summerhall.
Yeah, maybe that's what caused the fire. The blood sacrifice, something happened,
Right.
Dunk tried to do something. The brazier got kicked over, fire started. I don't know.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
I don't know. I always thought it reminded me of magic has a cost.
Yeah.
But think of the parts that are being used. That's where all life starts.
Yeah, the sex organs, right?
Uh-huh.
And magic is death. They use the sex organs.
Yeah, to bring forth life, it's a sacrifice of life.
Right. Yeah, it's not just blood magic, it's like life.
Yeah, life, the essence, all that kind of stuff.
Right. That's interesting.
It's almost Dickens like.
Though, talk about a chapter for confessions. Why did Varys spill his guts like that to Tyrion?
Right, yeah. What was it? He plays a lot of things close to the vest. Why would he tell him that?
Exactly.
He wants him to think he hates magic. I don't know. That's a good one.
Yeah, because, again, he's not one to sit around and be a drama king and talk about, woe is me, let me tell you my story.
Right. That's absolutely true. That is true. What do you think, Stig?
Yeah, I think I agree, but I still think he's egg.
I love it. You're taking that one. I can't wait to find that one out. If that turns out, man, I'm throwing you high fives because that will be one of the calls of the story. That is definitely it. Anything else on this chapter?
No, I mean, Oh, the part when he smacks her, holy moly.
Yeah, right?
It shows, and he said because she made fun of him, rather, that he cannot abide to be mocked. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
that's what caused him to snap.
Yeah, she was giving him lip.
But it's not even like, because he's been mocked throughout the story. It's because she did it. Someone he thinks loves him will actually mock him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He smacked one of her faceless face off.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine he smacked her so hard it was Taisha, like, oh my God.
Yeah. He smacked her so hard she told on Varys.
Yeah, right? We will find out at some point if there is a true theory with her and Varys. I think this is one of those chapters that gives you both of them.
I think book 6 will answer both.
Yeah, Sonny Frank, I agree. Like, for him to smack her, it was something deeper than being mocked. It was someone he thinks he loves mocking him, like truly loves. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, if someone sleeps with you and then mocks you, yeah. Tyrion did nothing wrong. I stand with the dwarf.
Oh,
She was-
my God.
She was being a vicious bitch.
Oh, man.
And with that, we're wrapping it up, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, that was a good time. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. This was a fun chat. We had a good time. Really good chapters, guys. We'll go around and tell them where they can find you. Teresa, we will start with you.
Well, you can find me here at Miss Martin Muses, where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. I'm talking a lot right now about Babylon 5, Legos, and as always, cats.
I love the cats. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for always coming out.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And Lady Tauriel.
What?
And she's gone. Okay, we love you. Lady Tauriel has a YouTube channel. The link is in the chat. Thanks to Makini right here. Make sure you guys check her out. She has a great little YouTube channel she's building there. Could always use. There she is. Hold on. If it actually lets me add her, we'll give it a second. It will not let me add her though. So we'll go with Stig. Do your usual. Oh, there she is. All right, Lady Tauriel, where can they find you? It's a nipple. Okay, we can't hear you, but we love you. I told you where to find your YouTube channel.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no, you sound super clear now. Go for it.
I have my channel, Lady Tauriel. I have a video out right now if you want to go check it out. And then I'm in different chats, different times. So you will find me lurking around. So, and support everybody on the panel. Great, wonderful people and the people in the chat.
Oh, thank you. You are the best. Thank you so much. I love when you come on. Always gets to be I love when we have a couple of us on because everybody, like Teresa pulling out things that I never even thought of with her first read. Like it's so much help when somebody, there's different voices. And one of my favorite voices, Stig Stannis Baratheon Kenobi.
Yeah, I'm usually on this channel on Mondays and on OG Star Wars on Thursdays. We basically do what we do here, but with Star Wars comics.
And it's good stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm kind of retired from everything else.
I hear you, man.
Sick of pop culture news. I'm not.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I want to talk about books I like and all that.
Yeah, I hear you on that. This is my favorite
And,
stream.
Just to be clear, that doesn't mean I have anything against people that do talk about pop culture news.
Oh no, I get that.
Yeah, it's just I'm tired of it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that because I do it on my other two nights, but this is my favorite stream. I love doing this. I do. I enjoy this the most. So thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you to the chat. You guys rock. Thank you to all my channel members. This one is for you guys. Have a great night, everybody. Oh, yeah, I always got to switch it because I forgot to keep adding it to this one. Here we go. Now it's for you guys. Have a great night. Put a spork in it. We are done. Sorry, Teresa. You can unmute and say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
There you go.
Red rum, red rum, red rum.